this one goes to Pastor T. Kindly ask Pastor T to elaborate in the previous session, sijui ni ya kwanza ama ni ya pili, where he spoke about counting years of marriage from the day of virginity.
Mungeniambia mapema. This is what happened, and many people don't understand that. Covenants are sealed by blood. The reason why when a lady loses her virginity, there's something that is broken. It's called the hymen. The next thing that comes out is blood. The original intention of that blood was to seal the covenant of marriage. Because the culture was a woman had to be presented as a virgin. And that never meant that men did not have the responsibility of being presented as virgins. Because the point is, if we live in a community and we have all women that are not married as virgins, it is almost automatic that the men also are virgins. Because fornication is out of the equation. And so God in his wisdom wanted that the covenant of marriage be sealed by the blood of your virginity. That is always a very serious covenant. And I'll even stand here and tell you that you will, for those that have lost their virginity and they are not married, now that we're in a youth fellowship, you can never forget the man who took away your virginity, even at 90 years. Because something, a door was opened, and it was opened possibly with the person that was not supposed to open it. So that blood is for sealing that covenant. And that is why the Lord counted Anna from the day of her virginity, meaning that she was married as a virgin. So her marriage began at that time. Now, going deeper. So it is possible to have, in your language, they call him body counts. In where I come from, I call them covenants. So it is possible to be in such a meeting and you have a body count of 15 women. Okay, 15 is many. A body count of around 5 women or 5 men. In the realm of the spirit, you don't just have a body count. It's like you have entered into covenants, because when you sleep with a prostitute, you become one with the prostitute. The principle is so serious that in Matthew 19, when Jesus was speaking against divorce, he said, unless for sexual immorality. That is the only biblical ground for divorce. Because when I sleep with another woman, I become one with that woman. That means the oneness I had attained with my wife is compromised. So unless on that ground, then there is no other ground of divorce, except in our modern day, many things are coming up. Things that the clergy and elders can sit and advise. Because if you have a husband who keeps on pulling a gun at you, or a wife and tell you nantakua, then we can sit down and say, we don't need to bury you dead. Out of wisdom, we can share some wisdom and say, this being an abusive center is better for you to be safe than sorry. Are we together? So when we come to matter sexual purity, it is a serious matter. And when we talk of oneness, because the Bible says, and a man shall leave his father and mother and become one, that oneness is achieved in the honeymoon, not in the declaration of blessing. So after the celebration, men exchange vows. That is what now keeps the marriage, the vows they exchange. But it is during intercourse that now oneness happens. So the first thing you need to ask yourself, how many oneness have you entered into? I pray that we have people that when God is looking for Mary, he can find. Because the title was, There is a Virgin. And she was 14. So I pray that in our day, if God is looking for virgins, he can find them. Yes, I pray. The word is I pray, honestly. Number 2, I pray that you understand the seriousness of these unions and covenants, because one of the end time tools the devil is using is the abuse of sex. and the lack of where should this thing be. And when it is abused, marriages fail, families collapse, and finally society collapse and nations die. I hope I've answered. So someone might ask me, Pastor, I think I'm joined to 4. So in the realm of the spirit, you are polygamous. You are single naturally, but spiritually you are polygamous. What do I do? Those are the prayers. You look for a counter and you divorce everyone. Those are not